it's opened up another well of love that I wasn't sure I was able to give. So, I mean, I cried when I've only had 3 foster babies so far, and I cried when all 3 of them left.
What do you say to somebody who says the thing that everybody says, which is, I could never do that because I would love them too much to let them go?
I say, that's what I said too. That's what I said until I did it.
Hello and welcome to All Things Foster, a place for coffee, connection, and community. We are here with a good friend of ours named Heather. We're going to get to Heather in just a minute, but before we do, we've got an episode sponsor today, and so they say, looking for a fun, creative way to bring people together? Two Sisters Studio brings the paint party to you. We offered guided painting experiences for businesses, corporate events, team building, private parties, church groups, and more. We provide all the supplies and the instruction, and our classes are designed for all skill levels, even if you've never picked up a paintbrush. You can also join us for some public classes at some of your favorite local venues around Amarillo and Canyon. If you're a business owner and would like to talk about bringing a Two Sisters Studio class to your location, I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee and chat. Just let me know you heard about us on All Things Foster. Find upcoming classes or to learn more at twosistersstudio.com. That's the number 2, sistersstudio.com. And Disney is actually a great, great lady, and they're wonderful sponsors for us. So thank you guys for sponsoring us. And if you're like me and you have no artistic ability and you just want to have some fun, definitely contact Disney. So Heather, thanks for coming.
Sure.
I'm super excited to have you on to kind of just talk about your experiences in the foster care world. So I remember, just go back a little bit, I remember this would have probably been like 2017-ish when I was borrowing a desk at the Boys Ranch Community Engagement Center, and you were there doing an internship, and we had just lots of conversations about foster care and about all the things.
Yeah, it actually was the spring or the fall of 2016.
Okay.
Because that was my last semester before I graduated with my social work degree.
Okay.
And I do remember lots of conversations we had, most pertaining to the foster care and Panhandle Orphan Care Network.
Yeah.
Some about music.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's been really cool to see, like, from there to now. So we're talking right at 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's I didn't realize it. Put the numbers to it, but so 10 years we've been having this conversation. You then eventually got licensed and served on the board and stuff like that. So you kind of listened to things and then ended up deciding, like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want to start doing that. What did that conversation like go with you and kind of in your mind, and then, making this decision? What was that like?
Making the decision to foster?
Yeah, starting to see things that you probably hadn't really seen before, and then deciding to kind of put that into play.
Yeah. So whenever I was younger, I grew up in a really hard household. And I didn't want my kids to be like that, to grow up the way I grew up. And so at that point, I was just focused on making sure that my kids didn't have to live the life that I did.
Right.
But then getting to know you really put into perspective that, I don't know, I might have slipped through the cracks. I honestly feel like I should have been in foster care.
Right.
But when I first met you, I remember going home and telling stories to Todd, my husband, and he told me this once or twice. He said, "Man, I just have a feeling I'm going to come home and there's going to be a kid sitting on the couch." And and it's not that easy.
Yeah, right.
Now we know.
Now you know, yeah.
But that originally planted the seed. So it all really just kind of came from that little working with you.
Yeah.
Next door to you in that internship.
Yeah. At the time, we had some like shelves back there that we were storing some stuff on to do placement packages out of and things like that. And so you start having this conversation. What does your family look like at that time?
Young, busy, chaotic. Todd and I actually got married in the spring of 2017. And so I was, getting my wedding planning on. The kids were young in sports. Todd is basketball coaching. And so it really sort of didn't stop from there. And we didn't decide to foster there, but that was when the seed
was planted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did these conversations turn into like, let's get licensed?
It took many years.
Yeah.
many, many years. I want to say maybe like 2022, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe 2021. I don't know. Todd had a dream that we fostered. And so, like, really throughout the last 10 years, he would say something or I would say something, and we would just kind of bounce it back and forth, and we never jumped on it. I didn't ever feel like we were ready, and that's kind of what I want other people to know is, like, we absolutely had no idea this was going to happen.
Right, yeah.
But also our house was pretty chaotic. I was coaching cheer. I resigned, if you will, even though it was a volunteer position. I quit coaching in February of 2024, and Todd was still coaching basketball, but at that point, our daughter was graduating high school, and we just had, she still lives in the house, but Oliver was kind of younger, and probably 2 weeks after I stopped coaching, I said, why don't we foster? And of course, Todd's always up for my shenanigans.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, because that had been something that had been sitting on him as well. So that's when we actually started going through we looked into it, we got licensed, and it took a good chunk of time.
Yeah, for sure. Do you remember, think back to as we're having these conversations 10 years ago, was there a story or something that just like stuck with you, all this time about all these conversations we were having?
Not really. I think just the most impactful thing was whenever I would deliver some placement packages and see the foster parents and some of the foster kids and like just kind of get my eyes on them.
Right.
And that kind of makes you want to, like, I see them and I think, oh, well, they're just like me.
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
Know? And so that kind of also helped me decide that I wanted to foster.
Yeah, there's this idea that floats around that like foster parents are these heroes, these, super special individuals when we're just people, right? We're just people that said yes. I mean, it's not, there's nothing, completely uniquely different between you and some other mom or me and some other dad. We just said yes.
That's exactly right.
I love that you're kind of wanting to share that. Like, hey, you don't have to have some angel wings in order to be able to do this, right?
If you look at me, there's nothing about me that glows. I'm just a
no halo.
I'm just a ho-hum average person.
Yeah.
Just a regular Jenny on the block or whatever.
Yeah. Do you think seeing them, so I think you kind of answered this question already, but seeing these foster parents and these kiddos coming, that really just helped you to realize these are just normal people. There's nothing super special. So that's kind of what helped you to say, okay, maybe we could do that if they're just regular people.
Yeah. Well, it definitely contributed to the decision eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But seeing it, when I thought that I couldn't foster, it really helped me to just be able to to want to help in any way I could besides foster. Sure.
Yeah, because that's something I tell people all the time is you can be involved in a way that doesn't necessarily involve, taking kids. I mean, you can be a CASA, or you can volunteer for us and deliver placement packages, or Amarillo area or Amarillo Angels. There's all these different ways to get involved that don't necessarily require you to go get licensed and start bringing kiddos in, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when did the the conversation shift from, that may be something we could do one day to like, let's do this? Was it just because your daughter had graduated and you like looked up and felt like you had a little more time, or?
Yes, and I quit cheer too. So
Right.
I took something off my plate to put something back on it, I
Yeah.
guess. And we love to stay busy. And so I don't know. Somebody once told me, if you ask somebody busy to do something for you, you know it's going to get done.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no,
and,
that's...
And so, I don't know. There's a lot that goes into being a foster parent.
Right.
But I don't know. I just felt those little voices you get in your head that sometimes I wasn't planning on quitting cheer, but then I heard, you don't have to do this anymore. And then I thought, right, it was
like permission.
It was exactly permission. And then whenever Todd and I were just sitting on the couch watching TV, and I thought, why don't we foster? And it wasn't even a thought. It just came out of my mouth.
Wow. And
I hadn't even looked at anything.
Yeah.
But I looked at him and I was like, wait. And he was like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. So I know that God has, I think that was him telling me that it was our time to finally put that part of fostering into action.
Yeah. So that's about the time you joined the board too, right? Or was that before?
It was.
I don't remember.
It was that very next year, I think.
Okay.
In December, January.
Okay. All right. So you were well into the process of getting licensed by the time you said yes to the board. Okay.
Yes.
So why, what was it about POCN that made you want to serve on the board?
I like to know everything that goes into something. And being on the board, it made me realize there's so much more that goes into POCN than just delivering placement packages.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so talk to us about getting licensed. Did you look at lots of different agencies and compare kind of what the process is and stuff like that, or?
Honestly, I wish I had known that there were more than one agency out there. I love the agency that we decided to go through. And the reason I chose that is because I went to school with somebody who is a caseworker for Buckner, and it was fresh on my mind. And so I looked it up, and, that's just the route we decided to go.
Yeah.
But if anybody out there wants to start fostering, definitely consider all of the agencies in your town and what there is to choose from, and what do you think would be a good fit.
For sure. I tell people interview their agencies, because every agency is different in how they manage things and how they support families and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Interview them, because they're going to be interviewing you immensely.
Every single aspect of your life,
yes,
right?
Yeah. Yes.
So you talk to us about licensing. What was that process like for you guys?
It was pretty intense. I was really nervous about my house because it's kind of old and it's kind of small. And so we decided to start out with just babies because they could share a room with us. And I still have my older kids. Well, Oliver just turned 17, and then Patty's 20 now, but they were 18 and 15 when we went through this. And so, I don't know, I didn't really want to push them out of their rooms or put somebody in their rooms with them.
Yeah.
And so that's where we started. But I was really self-conscious of every nook and cranny and crack and kernel of dust or little speck of dust in my house. That's not what they're looking at.
No,
actually, I decided. And it's okay. I mean, once you are in it, they come over sometimes weekly.
Yeah.
And if they come over on a day where I didn't sweep my floor, I have to be okay with that.
Yeah, sure. For sure.
So that was what kind of was at first I was really nervous about it. Everything has to be super perfect for everybody, but really that's not what they're looking at.
No, they want to know if it's safe.
Yes.
Right. That's what that's their biggest, because they're entrusting these kids to you, and they want to make darn sure that there's not going to be more harm coming to them when they come into your home, right? If the house is lived in, well, they expect that. They, what they want to make sure is their food, is there air conditioning and heating,
water,
right?
yes,
all the things that most modern Americans are not going to have like an issue with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas some of the situations they're coming out of, that could be a really really big struggle, is having all those things. So the state and the agencies and everybody wants to make darn sure that the kids are going to be safe and loved when they come. That's what they care about. If there's some clothes on the floor, they don't really care.
Yeah.
So you went through a bunch of classes, right?
Yes. They had a whole list of things for us to check off, and I think we're pretty fast at it, but then there's still hoops to kind of still jump through that take time. And so it's not just an immediate thing. Whenever we went through the licensing process, it took months and months.
Yeah.
And then there was, I think, a staff change too at the agency, and that took I feel like that might have taken just a little bit longer too. But eventually we were licensed, and it was good.
So roughly how long did it take? Is it 6 months, 9, 12?
Yeah, we started in March, and we were licensed by December.
Okay. All right. So about 9 months. Yeah.
9 months, yeah.
Okay. What was something that going through the process to get licensed that like surprised you, or it was like, do we really have to do this? Was there any of that kind of stuff?
The trampoline thing. We did have a trampoline. We contemplated getting another one. We had so much fun on it, but they really are kind of a big risk for littles, and so just the rules regarding that, and that kind of surprised me. Also for babies, they couldn't use a walker, so it was just like a little bouncer, kind of a jumper thing.
Yeah.
But just the specific rules that they have to place in order for, and I see where they're coming from too, to keep the child safe, and that was pretty much what surprised me.
Yeah. Did you learn a lot through the classes about trauma and stuff like that? Was it trauma informed, or was it more along the lines of, this is how you keep a kid fed and clothed and this and that kind of stuff?
Well, because of my social work background, I already knew kind of some trauma informed, but it's just really good to keep up with that stuff and continuing education.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're learning like so much so fast about brain development and the effects of trauma, and the fact that you can heal. Like that's years ago they thought by the time you hit 18, your personality was locked and you were stuck, and there was no changing it, getting better, getting worse, or whatever and stuff. And so staying on top of all this new information is super important.
Yeah.
So you guys get licensed. The plan is just littles because of space and everything like that. So talk to us about that first placement. Like, what was that like? You'd been on the delivering end. Now you're on the receiving end. You're getting this little baby. What's this like?
Yeah, it was kind of emotional. I had COVID.
Oh, no.
And I think I was on my 7th day, but I still didn't feel that good.
Sure, no doubt.
But there was a revival at church that we went to that was going on that weekend. We were, heading out. We were getting ready to go, and we got a phone call that said, "Hey, we've got a 5-week-old baby." And Todd and I, we have this thing where we take the call and we ask to, let me talk to my husband. Can I call you right back?
Sure.
Or if they call him, let me talk to my wife. I'll call you right back.
Yeah.
And we tell each other the situation. We split up for 5 minutes or whatever, and then we just pray about it. And if we feel led to say no, then if one of us says no, then that's a no.
Yeah.
So before I even got off the phone with Memory, Todd was like, "Whatever it is, yes." And I said, "Hold on just a second."
Yeah.
So we took our 5 minutes and we called her back and said yes. We chatted about it, and so that was in the afternoon. And so then it was kind of oh my gosh, our first placement. We were so excited.
Yeah.
But a 5-week-old baby, like what? what do we need? What do we need?
Yeah, it's been a while since you've had a little baby in the house, right?
Yes,
Your youngest
yes.
was 15, 16 at the
He was,
time?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I called all my friends and I let them know, hey, we're getting a baby. And they brought over some stuff. We did go to the revival at church, just waiting for the call because he
Mm-hmm.
was coming in. I was 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So when they gave us an estimated time, so we left home. My friends showed up with a couple of things, man, and then POC in.
Mm-hmm.
We let them know, or well, I guess the Buckner let
Mm-hmm.
you guys know,
Yep.
and we had a placement package that night too. And thank goodness, because I mean, when they come, it's not with hardly nothing,
Yeah, sure.
and
Yeah.
that's the toughest part.
Yeah. Well, that's that's the whole thing about a placement package because I mean when you got licensed, you said babies, but that I mean it's not like you said I'll take a 5 week old and I'm gonna have time to prepare to have a 5 week old. It's like I'll take babies that can sleep in the room with us
Yes.
and so bring who you bring, right? And there's no, I mean. I kind of say this jokingly, but it's not like mail order babies, right? I mean, whoever comes is who's coming, So
Yeah.
there's not any way. I mean, you'd have to own Walmart to be ready for
Hmm.
any kiddo that comes.
Yeah. And as little belongings they come with,
Mm.
that's about as much information we get on them too.
For sure, for
So
sure.
we don't really know too much about their background. It's very scant.
Yeah.
So
So you kind of had a unique experience because I don't know how many uh, volunteers that we've had that have like delivered placement packages that then turn around and received them. We've had some like there's a couple that was on the board for a while that their story was not too dissimilar from yours. I preached at their church, and then so she's like elbowing him, like, "Hey, one day, And so then they started. The kiddos got a little bit older, and they started really thinking, okay. And then they came and got on the board, and kind of felt things out for a little while, and then went through the process to get licensed, started taking kiddos. But that's rare. It's rare where you've got volunteers that have delivered placement packages that are also like receiving a placement package.
mhm.
So, I mean, talk to us about that. What was that like?
I just knew I could like rely on you
Mm.
guys. Like I have a community with you guys. I know that whatever I need,
Mm-hmm.
um, it'll be there.
Yeah. Sure.
So
Awesome.
So, yeah, I mean, I think just being knowledgeable of the resources available to foster parents.
Absolutely.
And I try to educate people to the
Exactly.
resources that I know too.
Yeah, exactly. There's like three parts to the reason we started this podcast, but the number one was to create community around foster and adoptive families, right? Because they're not sitting across from the couch from you, but they're listening, right?
Yeah.
So creating that community. But then the second piece was like, these are resources that are available for foster and adoptive families, right? So that's one of the three reasons that we started this because so many foster parents that I talk to are like, there's just no help out there. There's no resources out there, and it's like, well, there really are, but people just don't know about them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, or sometimes they're just not utilized.
right,
You may know about it, but just, I don't know. Sometimes you might feel like afraid to ask for help or,
yeah,
or maybe like you don't need it. But
yeah,
it's not even about that. It's about community and support in our area.
absolutely, yeah. I tell people all the time, we're not bringing stuff. We are bringing stuff, but that's really not what we're bringing. We're bringing hope and encouragement and hoping the kiddos and the parents feel seen, right?
Yeah.
And valuable, and what they're doing matters.
Yes, especially because the foster parents, they're with the child 24/7, and sometimes we need just a little bit of a friend to just say, "Hey, you're doing a good job,"
Yeah.
or "Do you reach out? Do you need anything?" or "How's everything going?" And yeah, it just feels good to have a little bit of community and know that if we need something, there are people out there like POCN
Yeah.
to help us.
For sure, for sure. In that first placement package, was there something that just really surprised you or that just was really like impactful?
Nothing really surprised me since I already knew it went into them.
Sure.
But, I mean, the Bible, the blanket, and the bear are just, those are, we used them. The bear was his little cuddly. The blanket, you know, that was his little, we put it over his little boppy thing for him to lay on. And then we would read him stories from the Bible. So, I mean, just, that's what we utilized.
Yeah.
I mean, we needed everything, of course, but I'm just really glad that those are in there too. And that way, especially the Bible, so we can start him out on a good foundation.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And see where that leads.
So talk to us, the baby comes. What all's going through your mind as they're like, they're walking in the door. Here's this kiddo. Like, what are you thinking? Are you like scared? Are you excited? Are you both?
Oh, for sure both. I was very excited.
Yeah.
But also so nervous.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him and he like made this little smile and I said, "Oh no, don't you start with me. Already making me fall in love with you."
Oh, yeah.
And and we just loved him so much. Now, that night was a whole situation.
Oh, sure.
Because there was a huge snowstorm that was coming in that night. It started snowing as soon as he got dropped off. So the transporter, he dropped him off, hightailed it back to 2 hours out of town where he was from.
Yeah.
And then luckily my friends had come to help set up. And then I think Jennifer maybe came to drop off a placement package. And it was, she came a little bit early, maybe before we had him.
Okay.
Because of the storm
that
was coming.
Okay.
And so, as a foster, you have to do a 3-day health checkup.
Yeah.
And it was the 3rd day that we were able to finally get out of the house because it was so snowy and the roads were real bad. And, but that gave us a lot of time to get to know the baby and cuddle with them. And
for sure.
Yeah, not everybody gets that, things were shut down, closing because of the storm, and we were just walking into,
Yeah, you were just really able to just kind of focus and not have the distractions and gotta go here, do that, and that kind of stuff. That's awesome. So was there a mountain of paperwork to sign that night, or did that come later?
Yes, and they kind of throw it at you real quickly, it seems like. And I have to stop and ask, okay, what is this that I'm signing? Or they'll tell me, okay, you're signing this for this, you're signing this for this, and, and I didn't even know all of that was coming.
Right.
It's the whole process. It takes a little while to get through once you get a placement, before you can be left on your own to start connecting with the child. But that's where I can ask questions too, and that sort of thing.
Awesome. Do you think anybody can really be fully prepared, going into it? Not with stuff. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally. Can you be for that first placement really ready?
No.
For what you're walking into?
Or any placement, because every child is so different.
Yeah.
You don't know what their background is, what they're used to. After our first one left, we got a second one, and he was 2 years old. And woo, he was. We called him our tiny tornado.
Yeah.
Because he just zoomed around, and everything in his pathway was a mess. But he had a completely different story from the first one.
Right.
And it was just mentally, you can think that you're prepared, but once they get there, you just really you have to tune in with that child, and it's kind of almost set your boundaries.
Yeah.
In a way that it meshes, where you can just kind of give that child the best opportunity, but also make sure that they leave with the knowledge of, for example, I guess our 2-year-old, he he would just get into the fridge. And I remember having to stick a broom in the handles of the fridge where he couldn't just get in it. So,
Yeah.
so we would set him at the table. And if he was at the table, he knew he was going to get food.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I mean by setting boundaries.
Yeah.
And then once he knew he was going to get food, then he stopped getting into the refrigerator.
Absolutely.
And so.
Yeah, because, I mean, food insecurity, I mean, when my kiddos came, I mean, it took us a couple of days to realize, because it was like, man, they are still hungry. They are still eating.
Mm-hmm.
And it took us a couple of days to realize that the reason they were doing that is because they were literally stuffing themselves as much as they humanly could, because in the past, they weren't sure when the next meal was going to come, right? And for us, it took many times of open the fridge, see this, look in the pantry, see that, there's plenty of food here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to eat again in a few hours, and we're going to eat tomorrow and the day after, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think routine is something. Routine and structure is so important too, because then they know that, okay, this is about the time I'm going to get some food.
Yeah, for sure.
Or this is about the time I'm going to get a bath, and then after bath we're going to lay down.
Yeah, for sure. The
So
routine
just
is
consistency.
Yep. Yeah, because, and this is something we're learning so much through the developmental stuff, is that the consistency allows us to be aware of what's happening, what's going to happen next, and that helps with felt safety of, I know what to expect. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so stinking important to have that consistency.
Yeah.
I'm reading. How do you think fostering has changed you as a person?
Well, I guess that it's opened up another well of love that I wasn't sure I was able to give.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I cried when I've only had 3 foster babies so far, and I cried when all 3 of them left.
Yeah.
And you really just want what's best for them.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to somebody who says the thing that everybody says, which is, I could never do that because I would love them too much to let them go?
I say, that's what I said too. That's what I said until I did it.
Yeah.
So, and it just depends on where they're at in their journey, because it wasn't immediate for me. It was 8 years from the time I even, like, you kind of told me really what fostering was. And I mean, aside from that, I had heard it, but I didn't really see it, or
sure.
And you were able to give me a picture of it. But wherever they're at in their foster journey, if it's non-existent, which is where I thought I was, and I doted on everybody else's foster baby. But then when we actually decided, I don't know, it's not like a big thing, but it is that we're just, we're opening our home, and I just want other people to know that they may say no right now. They may say exactly what I said. Oh, I could never do that.
Yeah.
And then they can do it.
Yeah.
Just keep your mind open and just listen to God and where He takes you.
Yeah.
Like, follow that path if He's calling you down it.
And again, it's foster parents are not different, unique, and so they love deeply, and it hurts a lot when they go home. We hope that they're going back into a better environment than what they came out of. But you don't know, right? You have no idea what's going to happen next for that kiddo, and so it is hard. It's very hard to let them go. You've rocked them to bed to sleep for the last year or whatever, and now you got to let them go. And so it's not like our hearts are made of stone where we don't, if you're doing it right, it's going to hurt.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
and so with my last foster baby, my most recent, I'm in nursing school, and I failed 2 of my exams, and exams are really important. That's most of my grade right there.
For sure.
And so, unfortunately, we had to put in our 30-day discharge notice for our for our most recent foster baby so that I can practice. And Todd and I, we tried to make it work. He's a basketball coach, and so he had practice 2 nights a week. So he would take the baby for one night, and I would keep him for one night. But it just still wasn't, my mind wasn't on nursing, it was on the baby still.
Sure.
And so when the baby left, of course, we bawled like we do. But he went to a really nice foster home who still kind of allowed me to keep in touch, which you don't always get.
Yeah.
But whenever I saw him the next time, I could tell he loved his new foster mom too. And it was harder on me, I think, to let him go than it was for him.
Sure.
To move. Kids are so resilient. And I felt bad for having to put my discharge notice in, and but then seeing him so happy and like the way he looks at her and the love that they share.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it gave me more peace on having to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like I said, it is rare to be able to kind of keep tabs and things like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong. As a matter of fact, I was having a meeting last week with someone who put a pause because the husband is finishing up some schooling. They went back, and so they said, we're going to pause until the end of the year, let him finish, and then we'll take more placements after the first of the year. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to do what's best, for you to maintain and everything like that. Because if you can't pour from an empty cup, and you've got to be well and be able to do the things that you need to do as well. And so, I mean, I don't think you should feel bad that you had to do that. I mean, that's just life.
Yeah.
So
and we're just taking a pause.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I keep telling Todd I'd like an older one so that I can go to the movies and go to the park and go to the zoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. So then talk to us about the paperwork, the ongoing paperwork of like while the kiddo's in your home. Tell us about all the different kinds of forms you have to fill out.
Not my favorite part.
Yeah.
Not at all. But so once we get our placement, we have to do 30 days of daily notes. And just how is the child adjusting, what growing, that sort of thing. Anything significant that needs to be written down. And so I would just do like a little summary of every day.
Yeah.
Then it finally goes to monthly, which it's way easier. And then one paper documents the overall, over this month, how did the child grow educationally, health, I guess maybe mentally, how is he doing in the household, how is he doing with the family in the household, foster parents and bio parents and that sort of stuff. And then I have to fill out a visitor form, like if the Buckner caseworker comes, I chart that, and then if he has a visit with bio parents, chart that, and that's one form. And then, let's see, then there's the med forms. There's one for over-the-counter and then one for prescriptions. So if the foster child doesn't have any prescriptions or any over-the-med, if you give them one dose of Tylenol, you have to write that down.
Right.
And how much, too.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, I don't know what else.
Yeah, but there's a lot.
It's been a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember, I think I send in like 5 different things every month.
Right. So how often does somebody come in the house?
Monthly visits with the Buckner caseworker, and then weekly visits. My most recent foster baby had visits twice a week with his mom, and so I have to chart all of that.
And then CASA workers if they have a CASA.
Yeah,
I mean, I always tell people it's at least one a week is coming for something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to help paint a picture of like what it's really like.
And I did have one that had to go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they also do in-home therapy. So
Right.
if that therapist comes to work with the child, you'd have to write that down too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
everything is just kind of documented for the child's safety.
Yeah.
And I see where they're coming from. It's tedious, but I mean, that's it's our child, but it's not our child.
Yep.
And so we have to cross the T's and dot the I's.
Sure. So talk to somebody that's thinking they're on the fence and they're thinking maybe we should do that. What would you say to them, or do you? Because sure you have these conversations.
Yeah, what's holding you back?
Mm.
What are the obstacles that are in your way right now that are not allowing you to do it?
Right.
Do you have any questions? I can share experiences.
Yeah.
And then also, if they just want to be a little more in the community, then I share some resources.
Mm-hmm.
POCN. Of course, that's always my first one.
Right.
Those are probably the things I would ask first. Like,
Yeah.
what is holding you back right now? Like, what is in the way of it? Because it's not that you're going to get a foster baby tomorrow.
Right.
It is a whole tedious process. And I liked to stay on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it still took 9 months.
Sure.
So, yeah.
It's a lot. So do you think anybody ever feels completely ready to take that first kiddo?
No. No.
Trying to remember
I mean,
if
yes. Well, actually, I remember thinking we were so ready until we got the call. And then we panicked a little bit.
Yeah.
But we were excited and nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So that first one, oh my goodness. Yeah, it's definitely one you'll never forget.
For sure.
But we have a picture hanging up on our wall. It's a tree. And all of my family, me, my husband, and my 3 kids, and my son's fiance, we all have put our fingerprints on the tree. And then all of our foster babies have put their fingerprint on the tree too.
Oh.
So even though, they just came into our life for a short time,
Yeah.
they will stay with us forever.
For sure. Yeah. Mm. What's one misconception about fostering that you want people to know about that's wrong?
One misconception, that you have to be rich, maybe is one.
Yeah.
That was a financial, that's kind of what stopped me from
Mm-hmm.
doing it in the
Sure.
first place.
Yeah.
Was I didn't know that I could do it on my own income and not, I thought that only rich people fostered kids. And so there's that misconception that you have to be perfect. I am not perfect by any means.
For sure.
But they do a background check on you and that sort of stuff. And, who is perfect anyway?
Right. Not anybody. Well, there was one.
Only one.
Only
Yep.
one. For sure. So not everyone is called to foster. We've talked about ways that they can, get involved. They can deliver placement packages. They can donate. They can host a Moses Closet drive. What are some other ways that may not even be associated with an organization, but that somebody could do that would really like bless a foster family, do you think? What's one way that somebody either did or some way you wish they would have that was impactful for you?
I do have a friend who, when I started fostering, she was so helpful because she fostered and then she adopted hers.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just kind of my go-to.
Yeah.
If I had any questions, there's a lot of people in the community that I could have gone to, but she was just, I felt safe with her. I felt comfortable with her. The questions that I asked her, I don't know, I just trusted her.
Yeah.
So just finding a person that you trust, but also sharing the posts on social media too for foster care agencies, resources. People don't know about them because the word of mouth isn't getting to them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not their interest level, which that probably happens a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
But something, you can have a meal or I mean, that would be so helpful.
For sure. That first night, just get, or a
Yes.
meal train for like a few days or a week or something.
Yes.
That one less thing you have to worry about
Yeah.
is dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good ideas. Well, I think this is kind of self-explanatory, but you're paused, so you're not actively taking placements now. But I mean, like I said, I think it's probably a foolish question, but looking back, would you do it again?
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to be done with nursing school. Hurry up.
Right. Yeah, for
So.
sure. I do not want to go back to school. Well, okay. So, anything you think we haven't covered that we should just mention?
Oh, not that I know of.
Yeah, if you can't, that's okay. And we'll chop this out.
I just can't really think of anything right
Sure.
now.
Sure. Okay. All right. So, is there something about the way things are right now, as far as just in foster care, that that gives you hope?
Every new foster parent that joins gives me hope,
Yeah.
and I advocate all the time. Since I'm not doing it, especially at
the
work,
moment,
I
yeah.
always talk about my foster family. And when I say foster family, I mean my community
Right.
of foster friends,
Sure.
and the events that they have, and
Yeah.
all of that.
Love that.
So
I say this a lot. I mean, it's All Things Foster, a place for coffee, connection, and community, because we do better when we're in community,
mm-hmm.
right? And so, having that community support, yeah, it is. It's super, super critical. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you don't have to only be in a community with your own foster organization. You can
Branch out.
There are other places that hold like foster care gatherings.
Yeah.
I remember last year you guys were at, there was like what was it called? Those little like a little fair, a foster fair.
Oh yeah. Like last October, it was
Yeah.
was the Emerald Area Foster Adopt Coalition. We did like a what was it called? Foster to the Fun or something like that. So.
Yeah, and that was really cool because it had a lot of different foster care agencies.
Yeah.
And then you guys were there, and a lot of resources in one place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's really cool.
Yeah, those are definitely good. Yeah. Well, very good. Well, I thank you so much for being willing to come and share your story. Maybe it'll impact somebody out there that's on the fence or just needs the encouragement or reminder of why they got into this, something like that. So.
And I would be happy if anybody had any questions or just wanted to talk, to reach out to me and let's go have coffee.
Yeah.
And talk about it.
Yeah.
I would be happy to help with anything that I can too.
Okay, so we'll put in the show notes. We'll put a way for them to touch base with you.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Heather, so much for coming. Guys, thank you for tuning in. This continues to grow. I'm running into people and I'm like, oh, you're listening? Like there are people out there listening. It's amazing. I mean, it's so cool. So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully if you're a foster adopted home, it's beneficial to you as a community to be more aware of what kinds of things are going on. So thanks for tuning in. Guys, like we talked about, like Heather and I talked about, we do placement packages, and we deliver those to the 26 counties of the Panhandle. So that is every kiddo gets a suitcase, a Bible, a teddy bear, a book, a toy, and a blanket. And then over and above that, it's whatever they need. So clothes and diapers and formula, bottles, all the things. And so we ask folks to consider being a placement package partner. What that entails is setting up a monthly gift of the amount that can choose. We kind of have some suggestions. $500 a month would pay for a placement package to be delivered every month. $250 would cover half. Maybe somebody else could cover the other half. $100 a month buys us all the clothes we need for one placement package. And $50 is a case of diapers, or $10 buys us an outfit. And guys, every donor that sets up that monthly gift just helps us continue to reach more and more families. And so, we cover the 26 counties of the Panhandle. So that's the size of West Virginia. I don't know if you guys knew that. We're here in Texas. Everything's bigger. We just kind of know that. When somebody told me that, I was like, oh. So anyways, please consider that. Go to our website, panhandleorphan.org/donation. We'll put the links down in the show notes for that as well. And if you're interested in hosting a party to paint, like I said, I'm terrible at art. I love to see art. I'm terrible at it. So definitely touch base with Disney, with Two Sisters Painting. And again, we'll put the links for the show notes down below as well. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week here on All Things Foster, a place for coffee, connection, and community.